Hi, I'm Ray Farnett, video and multimedia editor at the Province newspaper. I'm sitting down here with Glenn Schaefer, our entertainment writer, who got to spend a little bit of time with one of the world's most famous actors, Daniel Radcliffe of Harry Potter fame. Glenn, can you tell me a little bit about what it was like to visit with Daniel on the set of his new film, Horns?
Well, usually when you meet a star on the set of a movie, there'll be publicists around. There'll be the star will sort of hang back, wait for the publicist to introduce you. I was watching Dan film a scene from the movie Horns with local actor Jay Brazeau, and then they cut the scene. They were moving some dolly tracks. They were moving some lights, and Daniel just came up to me and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he said, "Check out my horns, see how they're fixed up and everything." And really unaffected kind of guy. And then in the middle of this, I thought, "Oh, are we doing the interview now? This is it. Oh, okay, I better get my recorder." So I flicked it on. And he was just a great, charming, pretty much unaffected 23-year-old guy when you think that he's been one of the most famous people on the planet since he was 11 years old. He basically rolls with the fame thing. He says, when people come up to him, say hi, that sort of thing, he's cool about it. It comes with the territory. And on the other hand, he says if somebody's an obnoxious drunken dick, well, he's a dick. And a surprising thing about Radcliffe is, I wouldn't have seen this coming, but he's an NFL fan. And I said, "Where did that come from?" And he said, "Well, he was in this musical, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, and the cast and crew had an NFL pool going on, and he got hooked. So now between movies, basically, when he's not on the job, he's either reading books, reading scripts, watching movies, or watching a whole ton of NFL football." Who knew? But this past year, there hasn't been a lot of free time for him. He did, since the last Potter movie came out last year, he starred in the Broadway production of Equus, which, as most people know, includes, it's a pretty intense drama, includes a nude scene, so that was a pretty radical turn for the former child star, right? But he was pretty happy to say that a lot of the fans of his earlier work followed him into the stage play, came to see the stage play. A lot of people saw Equus basically who wouldn't have seen Equus otherwise, which he thought was pretty cool. Then he starred in the musical, which has to be a leap for anybody, and and all along the way as well, he was learning his new American accent, and which carries through to Horns as well. He speaks with an American. He's playing an American character in the movie, and when he's off set, he'll keep the American accent up, which is kind of odd when you're used to hearing him doing his plummy British act in Potter. As I say, it's been a busy year for him in movies as well. This year saw the release of the paranormal thriller The Woman in Black, in which it's basically him on camera in a dark house being scared, and that movie was a hit. He got really good notices for it, and it was the movie that convinced Horns director Alexandra Aja that Potter was the guy to star in Horns. And in Horns, the movie he's filming right now in Vancouver, he plays a guy who wakes up as the prime suspect in the killing of his girlfriend, and he's also got this weird set of goat's horns erupting from his forehead. And when he meets people, the horns have this magical effect where they compel people to tell him their deepest, darkest secrets, stuff he doesn't even want to know. And in the midst of all that, he's got to figure out why he's got these horns. He's got to figure out who really killed his girlfriend. He's loving it. He says it's dark, it's funny. He's really looking forward to having people see it.
What's the future hold for Radcliffe? Did you talk a little bit about some of the upcoming projects? Is he going to concentrate as much on stage as on screen?
I think he's still hooked on the acting. He says he's a pretty modest guy. Like he says he's still learning, and he says I don't think he's got anything specific lined up after Horns, but he basically looks back on the Potter years. And he says that was his school, and he was in school with the best: Alan Rickman, Richard Harris, the whole Maggie Smith, the whole cast of Britain's best actors. And in fact, he said when he went and did Equus, Alan Rickman, who played Severus Snape in the Potter movies, sat in the audience, then took Radcliffe out afterwards and gave him notes on the performance. And Radcliffe says, yeah, like guys like that, they're always learning. He basically wants to be a guy just like that. He's a pretty cool regular guy, basically.
Glenn, thanks very much for that. And please don't forget to go to theprovince.com for all the latest news, entertainment, and sports.